There we are. Then we're on.
Good afternoon.
Yes, it is, correct.
Afternoon.
Thanks, Vinny. Normal running order, guys, for those who've asked in advance, which is Vinny, Simon Crabtree, Juliet, James Mountford for BBC, Merseyside, Carl Markham. Anyone else, please use the hands up for the open, and then there'll be an embargoed section for 10:30 this evening afterwards, which I'll make very clear. But Vinny, I think you're first up, so if you'd like to kick off with the first few questions.
Sure, Jurgen, start with something nice, actually. Have you heard back from Adebayo Akinfenwa after you hit him up with a congratulatory message? And when are you partying with him?
When it's possible, in the future, one day, I don't know exactly, but he is invited for the parade, 100%. So I saw before the video when he was sitting in the team meeting in our shirt, in a Liverpool kit, which I thought it was really funny. No, I watched a game last night. Yes, he responded. He sent a video back.
Well, what did he say?
That's private. At least a few things in life should stay private. It was nice. He was obviously really happy.
Something we're asking all managers today is what your thoughts are on the decision to overturn Manchester City's European ban, and also what does that mean for financial fair play now?
I think we should move that question to the end, because if I give my answer now, then nobody will listen to the rest. No, it's a joke. I don't even know if I can answer it. It's one of the big issues I have is obviously I think it's a serious subject. So and then I said it a couple of times before that not speaking in your native language is a problem, obviously. So let's start like this. I'm from a personal point of view, I'm happy that.
Looking ahead to the game then, I just wonder what differences you see in Arsenal under Mikel Arteta, and is this a side that will again be challenging the top four in the not too distant future at least?
Unfortunately, probably yes. It looks very much so. It's Mikel is part of this very exciting new coaching generation or managers generation. Really exciting to watch. You can see the ideas behind, obviously. That's good, influenced by Pep. He worked together with him. Probably they had the same idea already before when Mikel was still a player. And so yes, you can see a massive influence of him. And on top of that, obviously at Arsenal, a really exciting squad and all the different the offensive. They have more experienced offensive players, which are massive quality, and then coming up a lot of really good ones. So yeah. Looks like Arsenal will be a proper challenger again.
Thank you. Vinny, Simon Crabtree.
Hi, Jurgen. Can I just ask you about sort of any team news, really? I'm just wondering whether James Milner has perhaps got any chance of playing before the end of the season, or if there's any fresh injuries that maybe we don't know about.
My last information is, and that's from yesterday, because today I didn't speak to anybody. We have training later. The last one was that Millie is in contention or is pretty safe for the Chelsea game. And nobody told me yet that he will be available tomorrow. And it didn't rain yesterday, so that it's not a good sign then. But it will be fine for Chelsea, I'm pretty sure. Apart from that, no new injuries on the list. So we should have the same squad like we had for the Burnley game.
Good. In the Liverpool Echo today, our friends there said it was 3 years to the day since Mo Salah made his first appearance in a Liverpool shirt in that pre-season friendly against Wigan when he scored and went off at half-time. And if he plays against Arsenal, it will be his 150th competitive appearance. So I'm just wondering if this is a good time for you to remind us about the first time that he really came on to your radar as a player, and the first time as well that you thought, we've got to have him now.
First and foremost, that means he played 50 games a year, each season, 50 games, and still counting. So probably then, yeah, unbelievable. So it's a big number, and obviously he was lucky. We were lucky that he could play all these games because he was not injured, which is good. And on the exactly, and then I was very positive in the moment when it was clear that we have him, that we signed him, about his future. I remember our talk where it was when we first met face to face, and when we spoke about, he said, Sadio, so what's your favorite position? Yeah, it would be right wing. Okay, but Sadio Mane is playing there. He told me and said he plays a pretty good season. Yeah, he does, but he can play the other wing as well. So that was pretty much the start, and the idea was clear how we want to play with the boys up front there, but it worked out in a manner which we couldn't have expected. Obviously, they scored now 250 goals since they played together or are involved in 250 goals. I'm not sure, but it's an incredible number. So yeah, it was a good day for Liverpool and a very good day as well for Mo, because I think it fits really well, and that's very important in life, that you cannot change the world alone, but together with the right people around you, you have a better chance to do it.
Thank you, Simon. Juliet, the BBC.
Hey, Jurgen. Just listening to what you said about FFP with the richest clubs in the country, is if they don't stick to it, it kind of can make football more difficult. And when you see someone like Adebayo Akinfenwa, beast mode last night, just enjoying his success, although he's never played at the highest level, but the journey that he's been on, he didn't have a club 4 years ago, promoted to the Championship and everything else. Does that bring you happiness and joy when you see players do that, just as much as your own players winning the Premier League, winning the Champions League?
Oh, the one is, it's you don't have to mention one thing to celebrate the other thing. It was just nice to see, and I was yesterday before the game, to be 100% honest. I'm neither Wickham, how you say it, Wickham supporter or Oxford supporter, but Ben Woodburn plays for Oxford, so I was slightly more on the side of Oxford, but I watched the game just for because I want to see it. And then when they won it, and that's just nice. You see how much it means to them. I don't, when you are involved, I don't like the playoffs too much. I was in my life once or twice. It's the pressure is really is incredible. It's not a lot to do with enjoyment, but the winner afterwards is obviously outstanding, and I liked it a lot. It meant a lot to the manager last night. Obviously, to all the players there, it meant a lot. And it was on the other side really hard for the Oxford boys. So that's how football is sometimes. There's only one winner possible in these kind of games, and it was last night. Not Oxford, obviously, and that's how it is. But no, I just enjoy these kind of stories. Of course, I like it because as a player, I was in similar situations. So that's how it is. And football meant everything to me before somebody thought it's worth to give him some money for it, and that's why that never changed, and that's why I always will love this game, because you can fulfill your own dreams. It just depends to the dreams, and for some teams it's a bit earlier. For other teams, they have to wait a little bit longer. But if you work hard, there's still a chance for you and still a possibility for you. And I hope this game stays like it is, and I'm not worried about that. This game will always have these kind of, we always will have these kind of chances. It's just exactly how it should be. If you work really hard, you can make it.
Fantastic. Thank you, Juliet. We go to James Mountford from BBC Merseyside for 2 questions. James, if you could unmute, we can't hear you. Maybe James Mountford's not there. Sorry, James, you've not unmuted yourself, so we'll go to Carl Markham, who's next up. Carl?
There you go.
There we are.
There's been some suggestion in the last couple of days that the club are going to take an option on Dejan Lovren's contract for another year. It's not been the best season for him with, I think, 15 appearances. I just wonder where you see his future.
First and foremost, 15 appearances, unfortunately, couple of times injured, once for sure. It was not available. Dejan played for us outstanding games, so was always is a very important part of the squad. And yeah, absolutely no problem. It's always like this. We have 4 centre halves, and we play usually with 2 of them, but we needed all 4 always. So very, very important role. Played for us the Champions League final. Played a lot of big games. Really, and was a very, very is always a very reliable player. So nothing else to say about it, to be honest.
Is there a value to the experience he has? He's 30, what is he, 31 now? So 30. So is there a value you place on the experience he has for you?
Yeah, absolutely. How I said, since I'm in, Dejan was always either in the team or close to the team, or not available. There was nothing else. So we never had problems. So it's all good. But nothing to say about the contract situation, because that's nothing to discuss in the public. It's just how it is. I think that the situation is absolutely clear. Dejan is a player of LFC, and we need him. In this moment again, with Jael injured, we have again only two and only three centre halves. So one more injured, and Dejan had a little problem the last 2 weeks. Not massive, but little. Is now available again. Yeah, that's what you need. What you want, if you need the quality we have on a centre half position to be successful, and that's why there's nothing really to discuss.
Okay, fantastic. Carl, we'll try James Mountford again for one from BBC Merseyside. James.
Hello, Jurgen. Can you hear me this time?
Yes, you're unmuted.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Jurgen, you mentioned earlier about Mikel Arteta, and he has obviously made the successful transition from being a player to becoming a manager. I just wonder, Jurgen, what potential do you see in your own squad for future managers?
A lot of talents in there, because we have very good characters that so like leaders in the team, which is obviously one fact. But the other guys are maybe too young to judge that now, so it's not too important to think about that now. But the first and foremost, you have to want it as a player. You want to be a manager, because you have to learn it. If you are ready to learn it, it's not rocket science. So if you have then the right leadership skills, if you are ready to work hard, because that's the first thing you have to accept. Some players after their career say, okay, football, I have now enough for a while. That's absolutely okay if you want to travel for a year or so, but then you have to start. And then you have to start working, because so until the end of your career, you saw the game mainly only your perspective on the pitch, and you need to get a bigger view on it. And that's something that doesn't work without hours and hours and hours watching football games and try to understand why things happen like they happen on the pitch. So yes, we have talents, but I don't want to put any burden on their shoulders. If they want to do it, we have a lot of players who could do it. If they don't want to do it, I'm fine as well. So because they will find something else.
Virgil van Dijk, if he does complete this season, each game he'll become Liverpool's first outfield player to be an ever-present in back-to-back league campaigns since Robbie Fowler did it in the mid-90s. I just wonder, Jurgen, how does Virgil look after himself off the field to enable him to be such an ever-present?
Absolutely. Now we speak about Virgil, but the boys, they do it. We do everything around them to provide the perfect things what they need for recovery. But of course, that's how I said. We have not only Virgil. Virgil played all the games, but all the others were pretty much always available. A lot of them, and that makes it easier to be on the pitch. Yeah, no, it's just what he has to do. He's a sensational professional, no doubt about that. But he plays centre half. Huh? They don't run exactly like the midfielders. So in some games, at least for us. No, it's up to the boys. They take care. And what we can do from a club side, we do, of course, and we try to improve that every day. Actually, for sure, every season we try. We look how the different recovery things work, and if they're good, we stick to them and improve them. If they don't work really well, then we change them. So that's how a process is. We learn still always, and the intensity of the game will not stop. It will always get more and more intense. So we have to make sure that we bring the boys every 3 days in the best possible shape on the pitch.
Okay, and as it stands, this will be the last question in the open part before we go to the embargo, and it's from Rick, who's from ABS CBN in the Philippines. Rick, are you there? And I've unmuted you.
Yes, I am.
No problem.
Good afternoon. First and foremost, congratulations, Jurgen.
Thank you.
On the premiership. My question is, is there anything you're looking for in these last couple of matches in terms of tactics or individual play, something that you're looking at keenly for your players and for your team?
Look, that's difficult because the Premier League game is so demanding. So making changes in this steps and when you play every 3 days is really difficult. So the most important thing in this moment is that we are really competitive, because our opponents obviously play for everything, and so Arsenal now wants to qualify for Europe, and we will feel that, and that's what we have to make sure. And that's good. That's good for our development as well, because be making sure for ourselves that we are ready in each game, even if we don't play for anything apart from points, which for us is the main thing, the 3 points. And the boys showed me that all the time. That's why I was really, really happy with the Burnley game, because it was, from all the Burnley games I played so far with my teams, was one of the better ones for sure. We just didn't score the goals. And then you will always struggle against Burnley, because they believe in this one chance, and they got it, and that's why they could get a point. But that's what we have to show: the attitude, the desire. That's what we have to show. Football tactics, then, that I say now. Let's change this and that. That you have to for changes. Timing is extremely important, because you have to speak about them and ask for them in moments when the boys are ready for that. And that's now. It was all a difficult time with the lockdown coming back. I was happy to play again. Try to find your feet again. Stuff like this. We did that. Great. Physical status is great. It was very important as well, because it showed us that the boys, when they were at home, we observed that obviously, but that they did all the necessary stuff. So, and now we have to finish this league in a really very, very difficult schedule. Fix it with Arsenal and Chelsea, obviously, with the result last night, especially, it's a proper fight for Champions League. So we will get the trophy that night, and Chelsea fights here with all they have for the Champions League. That will be an interesting game as well. And the last game, Newcastle, which I know meanwhile is, for some reason anyway, a pretty intense game. So that's how it is. So I don't ask for changes. I ask for consistency. I want to see us consistent, performing on our highest level. And then it's always like this: if you don't score, and that happens in football, then you have to invest even more. If you score, then you can make your life slightly easier, but without scoring, football will always stay a proper fight. And so far the boys were really ready for that, so I'm fine with that.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you very much, and good evening in the Philippines. Right, okay, we're going to go to the embargoed section now, if that's okay, guys. So just bear with us one second.